You need to hear this. This Canelo Alvarez, Jake Paul situation escalated very quickly. In this video, I'm going to break it down. Two names, Canelo Alvarez and Jake Paul. What happened, what might happen, and the ultimate status and state of boxing as we know it. What up, Fight World? It's your boy Ego, and I am back with some more boxing. Now, Jake Paul just came out with an interview that is shocking to some. Not shocking to me, but definitely going to be shocking to you. And we can pretty much...
This is me talking to Canelo.
I look up to you. You're inspiration.
This is Jake Paul playing a conversation that he had personally off the record recently with Canelo Alvarez. That's why it's a little bit of two people talking. But Pete.
This is me talking to Canelo.
I look up to you. You're inspiration. Me and you have a lot of similarities.
And I have nothing.
How much money did he want? Canelo wanted 200 million.
One day we make a good fight. Until then, we can be friends.
Canelo, I have the $200 million for you. Easy money. Jake Paul versus Canelo. Let's get it done. This is what the fans have been waiting for. This is the biggest fight that can possibly be made in boxing. Canelo said he's down on the phone, so we're going to make it happen. I have the $200 million, and I think that's going to be the next fight. So sign the contract, Canelo. Much respect to you. Let's make the biggest fight in boxing happen. That's the exclusive Kick live stream. Jake Paul versus Canelo. Official. You heard it here first. This is me talking.
Wow. Jake Paul versus Canelo Alvarez, official, coming from Jake Paul. Meaning, I don't know if you could hear Canelo because the audio was like a playback, but Canelo was like, you're intelligent. You know, I got respect for what you're doing. And then the rest, Jake Paul said he spoke with Canelo personally, and Canelo assured him he is down to fight. But he wants $200 million to fight Jake Paul. And Jake Paul said, I got your money, sign the contract, and we can make it official. Wow. Boxing is in the worst space that I can recall since I've ever been watching boxing. That's what it is. I know some of you guys are going to be mad, but the reality is boxing is in a very dormant state, and it'll probably take some time to get up out this mess. The business of boxing is definitely taking precedence over like great fights, needed fights. And the people, I told you I was blaming the fans. I blame the fans 1,000% because the fans, we control everything. People want to legally stream everything, even the good fights, right? People want to complain, not support. And now the people in suits seen an avenue. They don't really care about the growth of boxing. They care about the almighty dollar. And if you guys show that these influencer style fights and novelty fights are the only fights that pretty much make money or can make that type of money, then what do you think the natural progression will be? Jake Paul versus Canelo. Jake Paul just fought Anthony Joshua. Again, weird fight because Joshua was an Olympic gold medalist, 6'6". It was just always a weird fight to go from Gervonta Davis, another novelty fight, to a heavyweight. Like, I guess Jake Paul probably underestimated Joshua because he had been knocked out by Dubois. And, you know, you don't play boxing. He thought it was sweet. Joshua broke his jaw. And then now on the heels of Jake Paul having a broken jaw, like he literally just did an interview with Ariel Helwani, and he said that he has to have a scan that may force him to retire. It's not my words. What Jake Paul said, right? And depending on the results of the new jaw scan, right, that determines if he has to retire. His doctor wants him to retire. His girlfriend's kind of like, I understand your decision, kind of want you to retire, but I understand if you don't, right? And he says business partners want him to retire. And then now, maybe a day or two after that Ariel Helwani interview about Jake Paul possibly retiring from boxing comes out, now we find out that he had a secret conversation that he recorded with Canelo Alvarez, and he's offering 200 mil, right? So let me get this straight. Canelo, baby, you want the baby? I know that. He wanted 150 million to fight David Benavidez, but he wants 50 million more to fight Jake Paul. Not to mention Canelo didn't fight David Benavidez, and he should have, right? So this is the state of boxing as we know it. Not getting the fight that boxing actually needs, but you get William School, right? Nobody wanted that fight. Nobody cared. You get Bud Crawford. Nobody really, outside of the Bud Buddies, nobody really wanted that fight, right? And then now we might get a Jake Paul fight coming off a broken jaw. Canelo coming off of getting dominated by a smaller Crawford. And this is where boxing is at. And then the Canelo fans. I didn't really spend that much time talking about y'all, but y'all fake. This is your Lord and Savior, Canelo Alvarez. Remember when PBC was going to put on Canelo and Jake Paul, and then Canelo did the video, I fight real fighters. I fight only real. This YouTuber, right? And he was like, this YouTuber, I'm only after the real fights and blah, blah, blah. What is this? If Canelo takes this fight, legacy is definitely questionable because, and then the same people talk about Gervonta Davis only wants money and all this type of stuff, and he's not about legacy. Look at Canelo's whole back half of his career and how he's ending it. You tell me this is a legacy fight right now when the man just had a broken jaw, right? And you're coming off a loss.